Residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A rather windy and cool St. Patrick's Day on the way. Will top out at 39. Northwest winds could gust over 25. And we'll even see a chance of some scattered snow showers. Tonight, we'll see clearing skies with a low down to around 12 and a frigid start to the weekend. Sunny but cold tomorrow with a high of 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Hold up.
Welcome to On the Block. It is 2 to 4, the time, the slot that we find ourselves in. But today, it is not Austin. It is Tricky Nicky in the building.
Stricky.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
The Nicky and Stricky show today.
The people heard us quite often during the state basketball tournament.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of break, and now we're back.
We are back in the building. First of all, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
You had a little time that
yeah,
was
a little
off.
2 days.
Got to see you in the studio.
Yeah.
You're looking good. You're looking great. It's vibrant. It's popping. We're down here
Great
at
crowd.
Buffalo Wings and Rings. It is jumping off. It is St. Patty's Day. Everybody that is celebrating, be safe, be careful, make your way to your destinations.
You got any
We hope
plans
that you
tonight,
get
Stricky,
there.
for St. Patrick's Day?
I am. There's a couple of friends that came in from
Good stuff.
Arizona. I'm going to go meet up with them. I'll probably see Cluster at some point. Me and
Good
Cluster
stuff.
are going to go to a comedy show this weekend.
Oh.
So, that's my buddy. I get to hang out with him.
In Lincoln or Omaha?
In Omaha.
Okay.
In Omaha.
So I will not be running into you, unfortunately.
You will not see
No,
Stricky in
that's
Lincoln.
a
It's
shame.
going to be a little too
That's
cold
just too
for me to
bad.
stay down here this time.
That's just, what do you mean it's a little too cold? It's going to be just as cold up in Omaha, Stricky.
Yes. Little recap going on. My South bracket is blown out of the water.
Really?
Nikki. It's absolutely
Are
done.
you in the tickets?
I am not.
Okay.
I didn't get invited because, obviously,
What do you mean you didn't
Jake
get
Sorensen
invited?
didn't invite me.
What do you mean you didn't
know,
get invited?
I'm the last man out. I'm always the last guy on the list to get into anything.
We talked about the bracket. I was gone Monday and Tuesday. I was off Monday and Tuesday, and I still heard about it.
Yeah.
So
you're-
don't just miss me
you're
with
an
that.
insider. You're a ticket insider.
Miss me with that, Strick. You were invited.
So listen, there's a recap. My South bracket is absolutely blown. Alabama obviously gets through Texas A&M. They're moving on to the next round as you find Maryland. We talked about the Big Ten.
Yeah.
How far can the Big Ten teams go? Maryland finds themselves getting through in a tough one against West Virginia on yesterday, winning by 2.
And that was interesting because Maryland fell down early 19-5 or 19-6. In that one,
Couldn't buy a basket if they went into a grocery store.
Which it reminded you of somewhat of their trip to Lincoln a couple weeks ago as well. Not being in College Park. Maryland has struggled this year not in College Park. Now, here's the thing. They have to go down to Birmingham, Alabama, and go play Alabama, which is just up the road from
in the
Tuscaloosa.
backyard.
Yeah.
In the backyard of Alabama, it's going to be a tough one, especially with the fact that Miller, their best receiver, but their best offensive player, the player of the year.
Yeah, he's up there.
And he's in there for that category. And on top of that, didn't really score a point and yet they scored 97 points.
It was fascinating because if you look at the box score yesterday, I mean, yes, Alabama scores 96 yesterday in their win against Corpus Christi yesterday afternoon. But you look up and down and you expect, maybe a 15 if you want to be humble, about a 10-point performance from Brandon Miller, who's one of the Player of the Year candidates, like you mentioned, Strick. But then you look up and he shot like 4 or 5 shots from the field and just scored 0 points. I'm like, yikes. They dropped 96. Granted, it's on the 16 seed. I get that. And it's on a Texas A&M Corpus Christi team that Alabama probably is obviously better than and was supposed to beat them as a number 1 seed in the tournament. But shoot, 96 without any one of your best players scoring? That's insane.
That's insane. That shows me there's danger on the
balance.
That's
right?
danger for anybody that's going to face Alabama, knowing that they have that capability, and they find themselves definitely now in probably the easiest side of the bracket, barring that San Diego or Maryland just doesn't have Maryland struggles in shooting a little bit. Definitely at the free throw line. I don't think they can get to 80 as far as their points in scoring. So there's going to be a danger zone for Maryland, but they're one of the Big Ten teams that are moving on. San Diego State had a tough one as well. So let's just talk about this part real quick. When you look at it as a whole, this is something that I said coming into the day.
Mm-hmm.
I said it all
yesterday
year.
Or today?
All throughout this whole thing. I said, first of all, that this tournament, I believe, is going to be, and I'll say it again with Rico because I want him to his perspective, but I want to talk to you about it as well. Being that this tournament was going to possibly be one of the craziest March Madnesses, I think, of all time. You just look at the parity. You look at just there are guys, teams in their 13s and 14 seeds that are coming in this and they don't give a darn. They don't care. And I think, and so let's go a little bit deeper about that. I think AAU has changed that perspective.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that the COVID extension of extra years put a lot of teams in a situation to where they can land great players. Obviously, the portal is crazy as you look at like St. Peter's that they lose their whole team because of it. But still, there's a lot of people that are being able to take in some of these guys that have super chips on their shoulders, and some of them are moving on to better places in order to provide a little bit more parity.
Well, I would agree with you on the tournament and it being kind of wild from the get-go because just look at the Big Ten. Look at the Big Ten, which is one of the top conferences in the college basketball world, and you had it was a game where with Northwestern, if they this was toward the latter half of the season. If they would have won, they were the 2 seed. If they lost, they were like the 9.
Yeah.
On one game, you had that 2 through 9 just jumble of just tons of teams that are good, but they weren't crossing that finish line like Purdue was or like Purdue eventually did in the tournament. So I think I agree with you on that point. It's interesting that you bring up the whole COVID year and things like that because we saw it with a little bit of Nebraska baseball in the COVID year, right? You think about it 2 years ago, not to switch sports, but you think about 2 years ago, and this is a great example, they returned Joe Acker for a 5th year. They returned Logan Foster for a 5th year. You had multiple other guys. Spencer Schwellenbach ended up leaving. You had all these guys that didn't have – Mojo Hagge was a great example as well, that had extra years, used them. Nebraska had a great year, but then you saw a little bit of a drop-off the following year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and this is maybe a question for you since you played at a much higher level than I did. The gap between leadership from those guys and having that year of where they're still here and there's a lack of development with the younger guys having to take more of a leadership role. And because now we're seeing it this year, 2 years removed from that COVID year, going, all right, Griffin Everett is a 5th-year guy now, and he's taken that. Max Anderson, Bryce Matthews, Kyle Perry, all in the same conversation that were a part of that team and were the upperclassmen last year, but found themselves kind of in that in-between role. Yeah, that in-between role is hard because there's kind of like a hierarchy. Think about like a pride, like a form of in the wild, a pride, right? Yeah. So when that pride is trying to establish a hierarchy, sometimes there's, you don't know who to go to, who's that person, who's really that guy, who's that leader, who's the vocal guy.
Who's the guy that just kind of does it by example?
Yeah, because each team needs both.
Yes.
You need the vocal guy, and then you also need the guy that's quieter, that just – everybody needs a Garrett Nelson, and everybody needs a Luke Reimer.
Exactly.
That's a great example for it. You need a Garrett Nelson who's vocal about it and will talk to the media about it and be all up front and on social media about it. Then you need a guy like Luke Reimer who started his career as a walk-on and now as a perennial starter at Nebraska.
Yeah, and so you need that balance. And so sometimes they just – there's just kind of an up and down, kind of like a scale that just is trying to balance that thing out in the way that it works. And so it isn't until that's solidified, just like in a foundation, right? The foundation isn't its strongest until it's solidified.
Yeah.
And so that's when you can begin to build on it.
Well, and that's what's so weird about like transfer portal across any sport.
Yeah.
Is because coaches and administration and staffs have to make a decision whether or not they want to honor their guys that are that have already been there, right? And we're starting to get towards the end of the COVID year and things like that, and we'll I hate to use the word weed out, but we'll get all the guys that have extra years due to the pandemic will no longer be able to have those extra years once they exhaust their eligibility. But what's so fascinating right now in this day and age in the current area is that coaches and staffs have to make a decision whether or not they want to honor their current players that have extra years and say, yeah, you know what, we can go in and come back, or if they want to honor high school recruits, transfer portal guys, things like that. And throw on top of it, we're having more transfer portal entries than ever before.
Yes, and that's the craziness, and that's the part that we really have to look at across the board, and I think it's starting to just kind of take its root.
Yeah.
And it's starting to show up in the way that this tournament is going to be laid out. Say what you will, outside of a few, your Kansas, with your Houston even had a tough run for a while.
Yeah.
Feel bad for Iowa. I kind of figured that, not really. But I kind of figured that would kind of go that way for them. I'd hoped that they would get through, but it was one of those things where I didn't figure that they would get it done, and I couldn't really go with Chris. What's Chris' last name? His brother. His brother's in the league now. He went before him. Gosh, dang it.
I'm blanking on it.
I'm blanking. You guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah. The guard that left last year, one of the player of the year candidates for the Big Ten. But his brother's in the league now.
Keegan Murray.
Chris Murray.
Thank you.
Okay, so Chris Murray, I knew he just wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
That take charge, lead type of guy.
Well, you also saw it in Nebraska.
Yes.
And on a much smaller stage at Pinnacle Bank Arena when Iowa fell to Nebraska by 20 earlier on in the year. We talked to NBA scouts that night that were there to watch Murray, and they were left the night more intrigued by Derek Walker.
Exactly. And that was what's crazy about it. So I didn't feel too bad about that loss. One of the things that I did
also,
see.
Auburn just shot the lights out. They got a really good guard in that green guy, and they played really well yesterday. Auburn did.
Here's the one that I know you talked about. I'm not going to get into the play that broke this down. But Coach Bennett,
Tony Bennett,
has found himself in this situation multiple times. Mm-hmm. One in which it happened to him when he was the number 1 seed. They come back the next year. They end up winning it, had great breaks, but they fall short to Furman Paladins. Now, here's the thing about that. What about Virginia that just kind of puts them in a situation where they find themselves always in this after they have so much success in the ACC?
That's what's so wild.
I just don't understand about Virginia.
And I don't know if it's how they play. Is it their pace? Is it in this age of college basketball that it's you have to have great guard play?
Yes. And
you have to be able to shoot the basketball, right? Is it that slower pace that Virginia's play? I don't know the answer. That's a question for you and honestly DP, since he follows Virginia basketball much closer than I do. But that's what's so interesting, because coming into this game, the storyline was they both play the similar style of basketball, similar pace of play. Virginia just plays it better.
Right.
And you look at also, you got to feel for a guy like Kihei Clark, the guy that did make the ill-advised pass, because he's had a really good career. And Tony Bennett talked about it yesterday in the post game on how now his entire career is going to be overshadowed by that one single pass.
There's going to be an asterisk, and you've got to feel for him. You really do.
Yeah.
We just saw the Xavier Kennesaw State game. Coach Abdur-Rahim, obviously Sharif Abdur-Rahim, the great all-star and player that I had the chance to play with the Grizzlies. His brother did a wonderful thing for that organization, got them turned around. They are the only Georgia team that's represented. Out of all the Georgia teams, they're the only ones that are represented, and they represented well.
Yeah.
They came up a little short, but tell me your thoughts about what you saw about them.
Unfortunate. I don't want to call it a no call, but an unfortunate turn of events where they had a chance, right? It's hard to feel bad for them at the end of this thing because you saw them with a 13-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the ball game. And granted, Xavier's a really good ball club, really good team out of the Big East. And we know the Big East is one of the better basketball conferences in the country this season with Marquette, with Creighton, with Xavier, with I'm blanking on the other one. Either way, but anyway, you had Xavier who was down by double digits in the later stages of the game, and they still were able to come back. It's tough to feel bad for a team and say, you should have gotten that call at the end, when maybe you should have taken business down the stretch.
Yeah, and you can't. Just shout out to Xavier for getting it done, and here's why. Xavier is the number 2 ranked three-point shooting team in the country, and they only shoot 16.7%, 17% on the day, 2 for 12, but it was enough for the day to get it done, and that's what it is. Sometimes it just takes just to get through that first one.
Well, because now Xavier might go on, and Xavier will play the winner of Iowa State, T.J. Otzelberger's squad, and the Pittsburgh Panthers. Is Jeff Capel still at Pittsburgh?
Yes, he is.
Yes, Capel's still at Pittsburgh.
Capel's still there.
So it's T.J. Otzelberger and Iowa State going up against Jeff Capel and the Pittsburgh Panthers. That winner will get Xavier on March 19th, which is in 2 days. So, I mean, I could also see it where Xavier, as you mentioned, doesn't have an issue going down the stretch until they have to play Texas in the Sweet 16 there.
Let's go. Let's finish off with this one because this is the one I said that just blew my bracket out the water. Freaking Arizona.
Yeah. Which it was shocking because
my God.
I don't know if
I got outplayed from the beginning to the end of that game.
Well, that's the thing is they allowed Princeton, and I say that in March because yes, you have your best effort in March, I suppose, at March Madness, because a lot of these teams, like if you watched any of the Kennesaw State highlights, they're all playing in a super small gym, and same with a lot of these mid-majors, right? You get to the biggest stage, and it's March, and obviously you're going to give your best effort in the NCAA tournament, but sometimes it's just overpowering, and your opponent is overpowering, especially when you're a 15 seed. But here we were with Arizona and Princeton, and Arizona allowed them to just hang around.
Yes.
Give Princeton credit. They made some shots, but it's not like they weren't doing anything spectacular. They just did their job.
They only shot 16% from three, 40%
they did their job.
They did their job.
They did their job. I want to say they limited turnovers to a certain extent.
11.
Yeah, so they limited a certain amount of turnovers, and a lot of those came in the first half. And Arizona just allowed them to hang around, and sure enough, when the moment gets too big for some guys, we see their true colors, right? And what's crazy is if you watch that Pac-12 championship game with Arizona and UCLA, completely different Arizona squad.
Yeah.
That was an Arizona squad that could have, I don't want to say ran the table, could have seen themselves playing far into March.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Now I think Alabama, with the way that they play, they've got to be the favorite. Yeah. Keep your eye out for San Diego State. They're very capable of making a run. They're a team that just don't give a dang about anybody over there in that bracket. But this could be the side that ends up having, outside of Baylor, who finally turned it up towards the end of that game and is now up by 18.
Yeah, I think they just won potentially. Yeah, they just won 74-56.
Yeah, so they turned it up and got it done. They're the ones that are probably the most scary on this side of the bracket outside of Alabama.
I'll tell you one team that continues to impress me down the stretch, right? And when it matters most in late February and early March, Penn State.
I was going to talk about that, and we're going to get into it when we come back from the break.
Penn State,
I wanted, as a matter of fact, me and DP was having a conversation before we got started. I was talking about Jalen Pickett.
Shrews and Jalen Pickett.
Yes, sir. And we're definitely going to dig into that. We'll talk a little bit more about Penn State. 93.7 The Ticket. We are at Buffalo Wings and Rings. We'll be right back after a few messages.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and Andermatt. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it and stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. And Friday, yeah, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and day 2 of the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $10 off any athletic shoes $105 and under, and get $15 off any shoe over $105. Choose from respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, On, and 361 Running. And don't forget the trendy Hey Dudes. A new shipment just arrived for the season. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership, sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A rather windy and cool St. Patrick's Day on the way. Will top out at 39. Northwest winds could gust over 25, and we'll even see a chance of some scattered snow showers. Tonight, we'll see clearing skies with a low down to around 12 and a frigid start to the weekend. Sunny but cold tomorrow with a high of 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming back in right here, you will find us. Come on down, say hello. We're at Buffalo Wings and Rings. The sun is out, but it is ice cold outside. Come and get a brew. Come and get a brew.
Your ice cold and my ice cold are two different things. I can tell that you spent a lot of your time in Dallas. Nicky.
I thought you was my boy.
I am your boy, but here's the deal, Stricky. 39 is...
That's lovely?
That's close to shorts weather.
Okay. I'll go back.
39 with no wind is shorts weather.
I've learned my lesson because here's the one thing that I will always say. I think Nebraska fans are some of the best fans on earth, and I really mean that. And here's why I say. We're an up-and-coming program doing our thing coming up. Mm-hmm. And it was a little bit different back in the day because the fans used to be able to just kind of rush in and kind of find their way around the court side.
By Bob Devaney.
Bob Devaney, yep. But what they would do is they would sleep in tents outside.
No way.
We would come to practice, shoot around, and all of that stuff because we practiced at Devaney and played there. So we would come in, and they would literally be out there waiting for the tickets, right? So then one day I'm driving, and then we parked kind of behind Devaney. That's where we went into the arena. I saw a guy walking in T-shirt. I'm talking about blizzard.
Okay.
I have big old parka on, and I'm coming in, and this guy has shorts and a T-shirt on walking, and I'm like, it's different.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's you, Nick. You probably go to class.
I've
with
learned.
Shorts on and it's
I will say, I used to be that kid that was like, I want to wear shorts all year round. I don't need a jacket. I just need a little bit of a hoodie. Not anymore. I have splurged for a nice winter coat. I go out and I wear sweatpants and hoodie with a jacket. I don't take any risks anymore. Plus you never know with car trouble, things like that.
Yeah.
You know. But it was weird. So on the Iowa State Pittsburgh game, looks like the rim was unbalanced or uneven. I should say tilted. It was tilted. Mm-hmm. So they had there's going to be a little delay because there's going to be they're fixing the rim at the Iowa State Pittsburgh game. I want to ask you this: deviate from NCAA tournament and look at Nebraska more specifically. I want to ask you, Denham Dawson entered the portal.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I was a little surprised, understanding though also. Hey, listen, you saw your role somewhat diminished with the emergence of Jamarcus Lawrence and the surprise of Sam Hoiberg. And you also have a guy in Eli Rice coming in next year, and you know Nebraska's going to utilize the transfer portal. Was surprised that Denham Dawson decided to move on?
No, and here's why. the style of play is not conducive for Denham Dawson.
Gotcha.
His defensive style works
Yeah.
perfectly. But if you're running a space style of offense and guys are going to Russell Westbrook you and like literally sitting in the lane, then you're of no advantage. What he didn't do is he didn't really develop the areas of his jump
I was going to say the offensive side, right? Because gosh, what an athletic human being.
Super athletic.
What an athletic human being.
Still can
and he
fit,
showed flashes.
But it's just I can understand. I can understand why. I think the offensive style just is not conducive for his style.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about one of the things I've been talking about is how far can Big Ten teams go?
Yeah.
Right now, we talked about going into break. We talked about Penn State and how you felt about them, how they looked. But wow, oh wow. Wow, oh wow. His name is Funk. Yeah. He wasn't dunking, but he was dunking a lot of shots on last night. Hot tamale, on fire, 8 of 11 from the field, but 8 of those makes was 3-pointers, 8 for 10.
Well, and I guess, how can you not mention Jalen Pickett and also the job that Micah Shrewsbury has done as the head coach of Penn State, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Just a really impressive performance, and Penn State's the definition of a team that's playing really well in the most important time of the year. They caught fire. They did their job. They hit that buzzer beater, I believe, at the end of the regular season to give themselves a bye in the Big Ten tournament, which allowed them to get an extra day of rest, right?
And to get in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Nebraska fans know about that one, or how they had to play in the Big Ten tournament on day number 1. And so then you also had them kind of go through the tournament. And as a 10 seed, I believe, in the Big Ten tournament, they're playing in the title game against Purdue, and they only lost by 2 in the Big Ten title game, if I remember correctly. And so with a really tough matchup of Zach Edey and those guys at Purdue. So once again, Micah Shrewsbury playing, coaching at the right time, and they're playing good ball at the right time. I would also look at this. Jalen Pickett's such a guy that's been under the radar this year on a national level. On a Big Ten level, he hasn't been. On a national level, yes, because if you compare his numbers to All-American type numbers of the All-American team this season, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. Yeah. However, I'm not saying he should have gotten an All-American nod, but because Penn State's a 10 seed, and like where you're at, that factors into it, right? And the kind of basketball you're playing throughout the entire season plays a part into that. But once again, Jalen Pickett and Funk, who led the team in scoring last night, they put it to Texas A&M, and they were up 48-28 early.
Absolutely.
And it was like you kind of just put them out of there. You gave them no hope from the get-go.
Well, their all-conference player, Wade Taylor IV, I happened to referee the young man when I was refereeing down in Texas when he was at Lancaster. Tremendous athlete, had a tremendous season, all-conference player. He ends up going 2 for 15.
Jeez.
So they put the clamps down on him, 1 for 10 from 3. But here's the scary part about Penn State, Nick. They shot 48%, almost 50% from 2.
Yeah.
Went nuts from 3. But here's what's scary about a team like this: over 82% from the free throw line. When you have a team that can do that in a tournament game across the board, that's scary. Then you've got a point guard that is a big size matchup problem type of point guard.
Yeah.
He didn't have the best shooting night. He played a solid night. 1 for 2 from 3, 4 for 5 from 2. 7 for 18 from 2, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. But here's the number that'll boggle your mind. He led the team in rebounds at the guard position.
Yeah.
He was 8 assists with 0 turnovers.
Well, think
that's phenomenal.
Think about what we just said last segment, Strick. How important is guard play? We've seen it with Michigan State. We see it with Penn State. We saw it with Alabama. Guard play is so crucial throughout the entire season, but especially in March. And the ability to shoot free throws, whether it's at the beginning of the game or down the stretch, because that can make, if you are able to shoot over 80% from the charity stripe in the NCAA tournament, then teams are going to be like, man, we're down by 6 with 2 minutes to go. There's just not a whole lot of hope because we know how well this team shoots from the line.
Exactly. There's not really many guys that you can throw out there and put out. Now, I'll tell you, I thought Oral Roberts was going to be a scary one for Duke.
Gotcha.
Duke went in there and handled business, so I'm not disappointed about that.
I would ask you this. When we talk about the Big Ten, and you asked me before the break, before I brought up Penn State, who do I think has the best chance to go the furthest in the tournament? I would add, how important are matchups? Like, that's such a generalized question.
Yeah.
But matchup and the problems
Matchups matter.
Because, like, here's the deal: is I think Maryland would against somebody else would have a great opportunity to go farther. Unfortunately, they have that Alabama team, and very few teams in the tournament match up well with Alabama. So that could just be hey, man, we just got a tough draw against the number 1 seed, but we also don't match up well from them on a straight-up roster versus roster standpoint, and so matchups are going to be tough in game.
I would have to agree with you. I think matchups do matter. I think,
and I don't mean like, oh shoot, Marquette has to play X team, or shoot, Maryland has to play Alabama because they're good. They're good. I'm talking the measurables, the matchup issues within the game. Like, for example, Purdue, a 7+ foot guy in Zach Edey, going to be a matchup issue for a lot of teams.
But I think they're gonna find themselves if Memphis can get through. I think that's a dangerous place for Purdue to have a Memphis athletic squad the way that they are, and they're long, like across the board long. And if they happen to shoot the ball well, it's not going to be just an easy night for Zach Edey, potentially. Yeah. But that's even if they get through. I mean, so that's –
and we've seen recipes on where you're able to, if you don't match up well against those guys. Nebraska's a great example. I mean, think about what Nebraska was able to do with Zach Edey in Lincoln, and even in West Lafayette to a certain extent. Able to shut down Zach Edey with some sort of a game plan, and I guess in March you're going up against the best.
I want to say, I think when we talked about who I think potentially has the ability to go deep, I think I love the matchup between potentially Marquette and Michigan State.
Okay. Yep.
I like that matchup.
And just for an update, Marquette's up 8 at the break.
I like that matchup. I think for me, based on positioning, I think Indiana has the best potential to go really deep.
Okay.
Because I like where they sit. I think physicality. I think defensive prowess. They don't shoot the ball particularly well, but I think if they work inside out, they have a chance to do some damage and go a little bit longer than I think. I think a dangerous team in that bracket though is.
I love Drake.
I love
DeVries. Or DeFries, excuse me. And I don't. If you want to talk about a coach that I don't think will be coaching at his current stop next year, I think it's Drake's. I think it's Drake, and I think it's also Micah Shrewsbury.
Wow.
I do. I think if the right spot opens up, if a top spot opens up, we don't know what Texas is going to do. We don't, and I'm not trying to float out like, oh, Shrewsbury going. Like, I'm not trying to float out because I haven't dug deep into connections and ties and things like that. But we know Georgetown is open. We know, and depending on what Georgetown does, if they hire somebody away, we know that spot's going to be open. It's still like you wonder.
So Syracuse is already solidified there.
With they just chose an assistant. Notre Dame hasn't.
No, have they? I don't know.
Notre Dame, Mike Bray's retired, and that's who I have a feeling will maybe slide into that Georgetown spot because Bray is from that area, and well, I don't know. Either way, that's all speculation. It doesn't matter. But, I mean, it's interesting because Fran McCaffrey's name's been floated around as well, and we don't want to talk about rumors. But, I mean, so it's just kind of interesting to see how much it changes. We've already had one big one in Chris Beard going to Ole Miss. Will Wade, the former LSU coach who had some sanctions on him at LSU, got a new job already. And so it's like just been crazy couple of weeks.
Let me throw something out there. Johnny Jones, who was at LSU, he found his way going down to Texas. Not Texas State.
Southern?
Texas Southern.
Okay. Yep.
And he actually did a pretty good job for Texas Southern. Is it a potential the way that he was able to get them, to play late?
Well,
is it potential that he can jump back up into maybe a mid-major type of position?
I don't know. That's tough. Because you look at Texas Southern's record, and some of their losses this year were bad.
Yeah.
There were some tough losses, and we're talking 30-point losses to Grambling, and when you look up their up and down their schedule, is not good. But once again, you caught fire at the right time, and you were able to run your way through the tournament. Where Texas Southern, I believe their championship game final score was like 67-65. It was low scoring, but then you got into here and you were outmatched in the first four as well. So I'm not sure. Granted, you played well at the right time, but to talk about the step up to a mid-major, I mean, it'd be tough for me to see that. But you never know how one move could change another thing, and how it's just. For example, Georgetown's open. Let's say they go hire Iowa. Iowa's now open. Who do they hire? Drake's is now open.
Yeah, it's like a snowball.
Yeah,
type
it's just you never know what's going to be open down the line and what opportunities are going to be given.
Well, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL football moves. Definitely want to get your perspective on before you get out of here about Zeke. Yeah. And potential areas and locations for him.
I don't want to go over time here. Another crazy thing about the whole Miami Drake game, because it's really fascinating. Because you have DeFries, who is his son plays, and is one of their best player. I got to watch
him. He's former Creighton coach.
Yeah, exactly, and he's from the Des Moines area as well. And so if Fran McCaffrey ends up leaving, watch that spot for DeFries. But anyway, here we go with we got to see them play at the battle at the vault. The battle at the vault. Drake beat at that time undefeated and top 25 team Mississippi State in Lincoln at PBA in the battle of the vault, and that was a really good basketball game to watch.
Well,
really
they're well coached.
They're
disciplined.
Yeah.
They're going to play the right way.
And then you look at Miami, and I kind of went into on this during the happy hour. You have a guy in Nigel Pack who went there from Kansas State last season. And you thought, man, what a hit to Kansas State. They go out and get Keontae Johnson and Jerome Tang. How about that job he's done in year one for Kansas State down in Manhattan? Jerome Tang with an exceptional job. They have him as a 3 seed. But Nigel Pack went on a 2-year, $800,000 deal with John Ruiz, the biggest booster down in Miami. And now Miami's a 5 seed and a team that I think is actually going to lose today.
Speak about Kansas State. They're going to play tonight at 9:40 against Montana State. But we got to take a quick break right now. We're going to head out. We'll come back. We'll finish up with Tricky Nicky in the building. And we're here again at Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Rings and Rings.
Wait, you look at yours, Tricky. You're getting
Rings and Wings. See, now my mind's all thrown off. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Yes, the ultimate place in Lincoln to get your wings. Yeah, I highly recommend the garlic parmesan with some fries.
Yes.
That's all I've got.
And
a green beer.
Green beer.
Butter Bush.
We'll be right back after this on the block.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-clean protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same product you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and Andermatt. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Max 10 for men. Bye-bye golfer lines and t-shirt 10s. Take it to the max at Max 10. Get a 30-day pass, just $25. With stand-ups and laydowns for men of stature. Be a Max 10 man. Get 30 days for just $25 now at all 4 Lincoln Max 10 locations.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. And Friday, yeah, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and Day 2 of the NCAA Tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block once again. It is day 2 of March Mayhem at Buffalo Wings and Rings. I had to say that a little bit slow. And here's the reason why. Because it's St. Patty's Day in the NCAA tournament. A match made in heaven. We have green beers, and that's what I'm sipping on. Got me a little mush mind right now.
Come on.
Feeling a little nice on the green lantern. I don't know what you call it. I think it's
they got the
green
sweet
lantern.
looking cups too that look like a basketball net.
Yeah, it's real dope. We have door prizes at the top of every hour, starting from noon to 5. There's no purchase necessary. You get a ticket for just being here. So if you hold on for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's going to be good to go. We're going to have some more giveaways.
Yeah, we're giving away prizes at the top of every hour. So I know a lot of people have been here since the beginning for the raffle tickets, and they have come up empty-handed so far, but we still got about 3 hours left. Man, a little mushy mind.
I wanted to talk about Zeke and the situation there. Obviously, the Cowboys have released him.
Mm-hmm.
He's open to kind of move around a little bit and kind of go somewhere that he would like. But first, I didn't get to talk to you about this. What do you think about the Jalen Carter situation coming in 9 pounds heavy?
I mean,
just thick.
Think about just the last couple weeks for Jalen Carter, right? I mean, just you were going to, if the Bears were going to keep number 1, right? If the Bears were going to keep the number 1 overall pick, you thought, okay, he's probably going to go number 1 overall for sure, top 5 kind of guy. And he ends up. It comes out there's a warrant for his arrest in his involvement in the accident that killed and murdered, unfortunately, the two Georgia personnel. One of them was player, one of them was a recruiting staff member. And so it was like, oh my gosh, what does that take?
It was Chandler LaCroix.
Yep, thank you.
Croy and Devin Willock.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And so you had his involvement in that, which I personally did not know he was even speculated in being involved in until that arrest warrant came out. And then now you have it to where he and was 8 pounds overweight, 9 pounds overweight. Yeah. And so if you also saw the video, I mean, he struggles to get through drills, and it was a tough go at it for Jalen Carter. And it reminds you a lot of former this has happened now a couple years on the last ones. Randy Gregory was an example where he was going to be a top 10
with
pick.
The substance abuse.
Yeah, when he had substance abuse at Nebraska, or speculation of it. You had it with Robert. There was one other guy that he posted the video.
Was it Claret one of them too?
Potentially, he posted the video of it. It was like a gas mask or something like that, and he was doing drugs in that situation. So he got dropped. Was it Tunsil? Laramie Tunsil, possibly? He got dropped to like the second or third round, and it was like this conversation of where's he going to go to go pick? And now here's the question for Jalen Carter. I mean, you have the legal side, but then you also have the 9 pounds overweight side in the most crucial couple months of your football career.
Yeah, and you're talking about millions and millions of dollars potentially. Being lost just on that on the effects of that.
Shoot, we talk about the millions and millions of dollars of loss or differential between this pick and that pick, right?
Yeah.
Now we're not even talking about. We saw it. I mean, like Eddie Lacy at a skill position at running back, basically ate his way out of the league because he was so overweight and he couldn't cut the weight.
Yeah.
He couldn't cut the weight with the Green Bay Packers, and he was a guy out of Alabama. So it's just. We've seen this before, and it's unfortunate because Jalen Carter had a remarkable career at
his
Georgia.
game tape shows a lot, but sometimes you have to think beyond the game tape because now it's an investment into a product of that person, and you're spending a lot of money
and also as
a risk of that.
As a rookie, your time there, it's usually a 4-year contract. So you got next 4 years of a guy that's in their early 20s. And you got to make sure that they got a good head on their shoulders.
Before we head off to break for the next hour, thoughts on Zeke Elliott's release? Yeah. I thought it was kind of coming down the pipe on it. But where is a place that you think that he can land?
First of all, I mean, Zeke, you kind of saw the writing on the wall because they started favoring a little bit of Tony Pollard as well, and Tony Pollard was a little more of the complete back. You had the fumble issues with Zeke as well a couple years ago. And things like that, but what about the Eagles? Eagles was a team that I saw that was brought
Sanders.
Up. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm wondering about that. And then, like, what happens with Derrick Henry? And where does Derrick Henry go? And what does that leave the Titans with as well?
Yeah, I thought that, with the loss of Samaje Perine.
Oh, the Bengals?
I thought the Bengals would be a good look because here's why.
Well, and you have Joe Mixon in trouble once again.
You've got Mixon in trouble. You've got Brown. You just land a nice tackle. But one of the things that Zeke does well, one, he runs inside the tackles very well.
Yes, he does.
But he's a very good pass pro.
Yeah, 100%. And
which is needed.
I was going to say, what do the Bengals have? What have they been lacking on or lacking with the last couple of years? And it's protection for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting thing. Quick segment. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to throw this out here. Normally we would do Shootout with Strick at this moment. We'll take
the fifth texter.
The fifth texter. The fifth texter.
Make it easy on Mark back in the studio.
No. The fifth texter on top of that. We'll do that. But let's do a trivia question.
Ooh, what are we thinking?
We'll have one for you when we come back after. Sorensen throws all of the giveaways out here. Get down here and get some of these giveaways.
Get those typing thumbs ready. Get your typing thumbs ready.
We're going to give it away. It's going to be I'll tell you what it is when we get back. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket on the block. Right back.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're not sure what your evening plans are and want to change things up, look no further than craft axe throwing. Whether for a date night, an evening with friends, or even a private party, you're sure to make memories at craft axe throwing. Trained instructors help make things easy to understand, and a stock bar makes it a great hangout spot. With 13 throwing lanes, there's plenty of opportunity to reserve your spot today. Choose the Lincoln location at craftaxethrowing.com to book a lane or call 402-802-9696. Craft Axe Throwing at 18th and N. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $10 off any athletic shoes $105 and under, and get $15 off any shoe over $105. Choose from respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, On, and 361 Running. And don't forget the trendy Hey Dudes. A new shipment just arrived for the season. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shopping for insurance can be a frustrating and tedious task. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln has a full staff of licensed professional agents who will do the work all for you. Brokers utilizes over 20 insurance companies to save their clients money. Brokers Insurance Agency will always do what is in the client's best interest and will find the best program to fit your needs. Call Brokers Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 to get a quote today, or find us online at brokersinsurancene.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one.
all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Hold up.
Once again, we find ourselves here at Buffalo Wings and Rings, drinking on some great brew and having great company. There's a great bunch of folks and fellas and ladies out here celebrating St. Patty's Day, having a wonderful time. We also have some great giveaways, and we're going to do one of those right now. Me and Nick are here having a wonderful time ourselves, discussing what's going on here at the men's NCAA tournament and having some discussion about some NFL football things that are going on. We're going to also talk about a little bit about your boy.
Who's my boy?
Aaron Rodgers, your boy.
Oh, my boy?
That's your boy.
I didn't know that.
So, but first of all, I said coming off the break, we're going to have a giveaway. This giveaway is going to be an E. Strick and Eric Strickland 93.7 The Ticket jersey. You can go on the website. You can go on the website, and you can get that. We're going to give that away to the number 5 texter that comes up with this question.
Hello.
We've been talking a little bit about Virginia, Tony Bennett, Coach Tony Bennett, and the Virginia Cavaliers, so it's going to be in that space. The Virginia Cavaliers played a number 6. Here's the question. Be ready, texters. Number 5 that gets this answer. The number 16 seed that played the Virginia Cavaliers that upset them, what was the name of that team?
There's only been one seed ever upset by a 16 seed, and this is it.
This is it. The number 5 texter with the right answer is going to win it. I'll give it away. You'll be able to come down to the station and make sure that you get that, or we can send it to you if you happen to be too far.
Yep. So, all right. So, that's cool. We got a couple people that got it right, just not the 5th. Next one to get what Burger King said. Next one. Oh, there it is, Tater. Is that Tater?
No, that's 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One more.
Nope.
This
guy says Gonzo. There it is, Gene.
There it is. Gene and Lincoln.
UMBC.
You are the winner. Gene and Taker, you just missed it. You was in. You was right there on the cusp of it, Tater. Off the text line. You were right there, my boy.
UMBC.
UMBC is the one that got it done. Gene in Lincoln is the winner. Go ahead and call in. Mark in the station will be able to get your information, get you set, and we'll get that to you. Gene in Lincoln is the winner. Thank you for calling. Not calling, but texting, but also you calling in to get that information.
Yeah,
that was a wonderful run.
The UMBC Retrievers was, I believe, what their mascot name was. It's Maryland, Baltimore County, I believe.
That's it.
Is what it is. So yeah, really, really good, really fun. That was a fun year of upsets. Speaking of this update, Pittsburgh putting it on Iowa State and TJ Otzelberger. 10 minutes into the game, it's 22-2.
They've only scored 2 points in 10 minutes.
Iowa State has missed their first 8 field goals. Now it's 22-4.
Whoa.
22-4.
Hey.
Oh,
hello.
4.
The Cyclones are having a cyclone. The ball is cycloning the rim right now. It's not going in for them.
If you know anything about March Madness, it ain't over.
It is not over. It is not over. And see, anybody is capable of having a night where the second half you just go bizarre, bonkers,
exactly,
and just go nuts. So that's always a possibility.
Update on another game: Marquette leads 45-40. 15 minutes left in that ball game. Creighton is up on NC State 9-4 as well.
That's just getting started there. That game is going to be interesting. They have to do something. Creighton, obviously the defensive player of the year in Kalkbrenner.
Yeah.
He's got to stay in the game. Like, their depth outside in the bigs, on their bigs, is troubling.
Yeah.
If they get outside and he gets into foul trouble, watch out for Creighton having some trouble as far as on the defense side of things.
We're going to get back to basketball really quickly. You want to talk about how pitch clock in baseball is making a difference and how pace of each game, both at the college level, at the major league level. Husker baseball is playing a doubleheader today against Nichols State down in Manhattan, Kansas. It was supposed to be a home game. They went down to Manhattan as they're using the Wildcats facilities. And they won 2-1 in their first of 2 doubleheaders today. The game took 77 minutes. 1 hour and 17 minutes is all it took. And now, granted, it's a 2-1 ball game, and also it's a 7-inning ball game. The first of the doubleheader is always a 7-inning game in college. But here they are, and it only took 77 minutes to go through 7 innings of baseball.
That's crazy. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I think that helps the game.
I agree.
I'm going to be honest, and I think they need it also at the MLB level.
Well,
I think that's something that they're
with pitch clocks.
Yeah.
They need to iron a couple things out when it comes to pitch clocks and guys in the box. They have to have their eyes engaged on the pitcher with a certain amount of time left, or else it's an automatic strike. Or there's a couple of rules that they need to iron out, but studies have shown, the analytics have shown that games are taking much less time to complete, and you're still getting enough action in it. Because also when you don't now, I'm one of those old feeling guys where it's like
purist.
I'm like let it take its time. Like the 5 pickoff attempts in a row, like all that is just strategy, and you're as a base runner, you know this trick because you've obviously played baseball. Like as a base runner, when you're forcing the pitcher to pick over that many times, you're doing your job. Even if you're not stealing, you're getting an aggressive enough of primary lead, a secondary lead as well. Once the
takes him out of his rhythm,
it takes you out of your rhythm, and you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Also, part of the game is as when you're on offense, when you're on the plate or in the box. Part of it is also discovering that the pitcher is in a rhythm, and over the course of 2 or 3 innings, it's all right. Hey, this pitcher comes set. He pauses for 1 second, then delivers. Does it every single time because pitchers, especially at the high school and college level, they get into they don't understand
those
they don't understand the rhythm and how easily they get into a rhythm, and they just do it without even thinking about it because they're worried about throwing a strike or fielding the next ground ball. So when you're talking about that part of the game is always fascinating to me, and that I feel like maybe the pitch clock takes away from that. But if you're still able to have enough action in a quicker ball game, then why not, especially if it's going to drive the viewership up.
I really want to get your thought and perspective on the World Baseball Classic.
I'm pumped up for it.
I like it.
This year
it's interesting.
It is fascinating. When when USA won it in like 2018, 2017, they were not supposed to win it. Adam Jones, the Baltimore Orioles outfielder at the time, was like an unsung hero for that World Baseball Classic team. And here's USA. And it gives that postseason type of feel, but in March and in early April. And it's like an all-star game. Yeah. Because you have the best players from each country competing in a time where I also think it helps with the gaining excitement for the upcoming Major League Baseball season.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, like I'm sitting there, and if I were to watch spring training, and it's like, you got half the Cubs team at this site, you have the other half at this site, and they're both playing the Chicago White Sox, and they're like, you're not seeing all these guys play in meaningful games.
Right.
Where in the World Baseball Classic, you're seeing the guys that represent the country of Puerto Rico or Venezuela going up against Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Tim Anderson. You have Paul Goldschmidt. You have Pete Alonso. You have Nolan Arenado. You have all these top players that it gives that all-star game atmosphere, but in games that mean something as much as maybe the World Series.
And the crazy thing about it, they're giving their best.
Yeah.
You can tell they're giving their best.
Exactly.
Because it does mean something.
I am concerned about the future of it, though, because I'm sure you saw this.
The injuries.
Edwin Diaz, while celebrating, is out for the season after a knee injury.
Yeah.
He was celebrating with his team ends up getting an injury, and he is now out for the year for the Mets. That's a key cog in the whole thing for the New York Mets.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious and worried a little bit about the future, I suppose, of the World Baseball Classic and tournaments like this because of that. Because we know that once one bad thing happens, then that conversation is brought up, and it might not have an effect on the next World Baseball Classic, but on the one down the road, who knows? And it's a little worrisome because, like you said, it's games that they're giving their all, and they want to be there. Like
exactly.
you have that, you bring that up. I also think it's a great opportunity for younger guys in spring training.
Yeah,
the guys that
the ones that really want to be seen or need,
or
really
want to
put
seen,
it.
Need to be seen. And the spring training invites me. I know a couple minor league guys that are on that fringe of like AA to AAA, and then I know a couple that are on the fringe of AAA to majors and getting the call. And they aren't going to be in the World Baseball Classic, but man, this is a huge opportunity for them to be seen, and maybe they get that call or they get that bump after spending 3 or 4 years in the AA or in the single A. You finally get that call up to the next level.
It's next
man,
level.
that minor league grind, people might not understand. Yeah, it's something.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
It is.
They don't understand them long bus rides that I listen.
Yeah.
Like the best thing about when I played in single A out in Elmira was that we were kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't like in St. Catharines in Canada where the Toronto Blue Jays were, that had to drive all the way down into Pennsylvania to play some games and then kind of stay on those long road trips. We had kind of got to go hit it, come back, then go back down, hit Oneonta, hit some of these other places like that. But those bus rides still were long.
They're a grind, and also, I mean,
well, let me tell you this one part too.
Yeah.
This is how they did us. You fly in, they drop you off, they give you a nice hotel. You got 3 days to find a place to live.
I was just gonna get into that.
It's crazy.
They've started to upgrade maybe the conditions and the parameters of what for minor league players, not nearly as much as they should. I mean, we're talking. There's a little bit more of a salary involved, and granted, like you're getting paid to play the game of baseball, but until you make that league, you can number one, guys that are in the minors for 6 or 7 years or more, even that just kind of at a standstill. That signing bonus, number one, they didn't get drafted all that high. Number two, that signing bonus, if anything, does not last very long. And so especially depending on where your single-A affiliate is at. I mean, it's going to obviously cost a heck of a lot more to live on a single-A affiliate for the Dodgers or for, whatever it may be. Their affiliates in Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Dodgers, than it would be to live in Omaha, right?
Yeah,
or to live in Iowa and Cedar Rapids for the Cedar Rapids Colonels. Like, it's so fluid, and things can stop. I mean, and also, not to mention, you're in the minors for 6 years, you get cut, and nobody really knows about you.
Yeah.
Even if you were a first-round pick, your time is up. And so it's such a grind and just a grueling process because you sit there and you, like you said, you have to find your own housing, and you can't afford, especially nowadays with how expensive everything is, you can't afford to go find an apartment, or you can't go. And also, you're trying to get to the major leagues. Like, you got so much stuff going on, and I'm sure that's the case through G League potentially and through, the struggling lives of guys that are trying to make the NFL and things like that. But, man, what a grueling process. But the World Baseball Classic, I think it gives a great opportunity for those guys like Mike Trout, the guys that have made it, obviously, to put on for their country.
Yeah.
And to get meaningful reps. And then also for the younger guys that maybe are on the fringe or on the cusp of making the next level, whatever that may be, whether that's rookie ball to single A or whether that's AAA to major, great opportunity all around. But I'm a little concerned about the future now with an injury.
Absolutely. Let's get a little update going on now. We have Marquette against Vermont. You guys still got that deal going on.
Oh yeah, Rico, good. Rico is in the building. Marquette up by 7. Marquette
still a lot of time left with 13 minutes.
Still
of that
13
game.
minutes, but we're good. Marquette's up by 7, 50-43.
St. Mary's was able to get it done against VCU. They pulled it out with a 12-point win, 63-51 in that game. They will face the winner of UConn and Iona. Let's stay there.
Okay.
Obviously, Rick Pitino is coaching at Iona. Is there enough danger with this team that UConn, who is tough Big East opponent.
That was the other Big East team I was thinking of earlier. Anyway.
Tough Big East opponent. But something about Iona, I think is scary, and I actually picked them to kind of come out of this one.
Oh, really? Man, look at you, Stricky. Stricky with the Iona pick?
I picked a little
and
bit.
what spot in our tournament bracket challenge are you in?
I am not in that one.
What about just overall? Where are you at? You picked Iona? That's tough, man. I don't know. I haven't obviously been able to watch the Gales play, but Rick Pitino, he's used to being here. He's built Iona so much, and he's sort of rebuilt his reputation as well to a certain extent, as much as I think he could have at a mid-major after everything that happened. That I think he gets a Power 5 job after this year.
Wow. He moves back up into it.
Not to credit.
There's a lot of space. Like
even look at Richard Pitino in New Mexico.
When you look at like Louisville, like really, like these are. When you look at a lot of blue bloods, there's a lot of blue bloods that have kind of lost their way. Even right now, I just don't know how even Kentucky is going to fare.
Well, and I have Providence beating Kentucky today.
Yeah.
I like Oscar Shibwe. Thank you. I like him a lot, but Providence is one of those teams that also has created havoc in previous years at the NCAA tournament, and Kentucky has just been off for the last couple years as well. And I like we said, Oscar Shibwe. Goodness, I'm gonna get it right one of these times.
See how we can mess that up?
Shibwe.
Yeah, Shibwe.
But, I mean, I have Providence winning. Iona, I'm sure they could. UConn turned it on, or hit a rough patch late, but they were playing well at the middle of the season. So I have UConn winning that one, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. Not in March Madness, I suppose, either.
Yeah, anything is possible. One other question I have before we let's really dig into this.
Okay.
Obviously, Mark Few has made a tremendous run, turning Gonzaga into a new blood.
Yeah.
That program up there has
Year
had
in and year
tremendous
out.
success. Year after year, they find themselves in the top 10 pretty regularly. Got a very good veteran-laden team, obviously with the Beard. You know, the guy that I keep saying needs to get Tate down to Nebraska for Breidenbach.
Yeah.
But they're making a run, and they've come up short as of late.
They have.
They've gotten in. They kind of find themselves just not performing up to the level. You know, they'll get to the Final Four, but just can't break through.
Well, you think about just some of the teams that they've had in years past. The teams with Jalen Suggs, the teams with Chet Holmgren, the teams now with Drew Timme, and they haven't been able to break through, like you said. I'm not in the boat of it's their conference. Like, I've heard that's been a point made in a conversation where it's like, they shouldn't be in the West Coast Conference, right? But we've seen it. Like, St. Mary's just won a tournament game today against a talented VCU squad, and Gonzaga I have winning a couple games in the tournament. And maybe I'm wrong on this. I think it's just that much more difficult to win in March and win in the big tournament. I really do. And although they've had experience, I mean, Chet Holmgren was young when they went to the tournament, and same with, Jalen Suggs hit that half-court shot to win it against UCLA, I believe, or force overtime against UCLA, and that was in the Final Four as well, but they just didn't come out on top. I think all Gonzaga fans are asking that question of what how do we get to that next step?
Yeah.
How do we get there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I find interesting.
But they are I do consider them a college basketball brand, like a top college basketball brand, because they attract talent in Seattle. Or I should say in Washington. Mm-hmm. They attract talent, and they continue to be a high seed, whether that's a 1 seed, whether that's a 2 or now a 3 this year in the NCAA tournament. They continue to be a high seed. They just can't get over that hump in the tournament.
Yeah.
In the tournament. And obviously when you're playing against UCLA and then 2 days later you have to play against the number 1 seed, and then 2 days later you have to play against the 2 seed. Like, I just think maybe that takes a toll, and maybe they don't know how to win yet.
Well, they've got Grand Canyon coming up at 7:30 today. They're in the side with TCU and Arizona State.
Grand Canyon with the former Husker Ivan Way Drogo on that team.
Yeah.
So.
Drogo's over there. So that's going to be a good watch. Keep an eye on TCU and Arizona State. Arizona State obviously winning in the play-in game to find themselves at this position to get in. Sometimes, quick on that, does that benefit you to sometimes playing that play-in games to kind of get your feet wet, or do you think it's
I think it's tough.
You think it's tough?
I do think it's tough. Now, we're not seeing it from Pittsburgh to start, but I think it's tough because you think about this. I mean, as it is, you have a 48-hour turnaround from Selection Sunday to First Four.
So you got to get on a plane and damn near just go.
You got to go.
Right.
And that's that 48-hour turnaround where you get 4 days instead. So you get an extra 2. You get double the amount of prep time for somebody, and that's somewhere that I don't think anybody should ever be able to beat you at is prep, right? Because that's something you can control.
Yeah.
You can't as a staff and as a roster, a team, you can't control maybe what the other team's game plan is, but you being prepared on the other team's game plan and what they've done throughout their entire season, that's something you can control, and how much of a preparation level you have.
But here's what's crazy about that. I'm gonna throw this back at you. Just a little pushback. Sauter Heyman text line's always welcome for you guys to join in, tap in as well. 402-464-5685. But I'm gonna toss this back to you. The team has got to prep, double prep though.
Yeah.
They've got to prep for 2 teams.
That's
true. So
Man.
that's the other part I think is crazy about them. Right? So whoever's waiting, and in this case TCU's waiting, they not only got to prep for Arizona State, but they've got to prep for who Arizona State playing game.
That's true. Okay, that's a good point, Strick.
So it's kind of a double prep. You don't know. Okay, then you get it.
And I guess if you're that team that wins that first 4 game, you just prepped on 2 days' notice. You just prepped on 2 days' notice. You can do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah. So it's just something to just throw out there. I just think that's interesting. I think it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because
I think maybe your prime situation is to not play an opponent that's on the first 4 and not be in the first 4.
Right.
And have your matchup set. You got 4 days of prep.
Right. So you want to try to stay out. I think you want to
stay
try to
away
stay
from
out of
that. Stay away from the 6th seed and stay away from the 1 seed.
Well,
don't you dare get a 1 seed. I'd rather have Nebraska be a 2 seed than a 1 seed, Strick.
Absolutely. We've got to get out of here for a quick break. Once again, we're here, March Mayhem at Buffalo Wings and Rings, having a wonderful day, giving away some things. We have another hour coming up in about a half an hour. We're going to give away some more things. There's shirts, there's cups, there's bottles, there's cake. There's all types of stuff that we're giving away, but we're right here on the block, 2 to 4, in Buffalo Wings and Rings. We'll be right back after this. We'll talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers. Peace.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Repeat after me.
I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-665-4650 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and Andermatt. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. And Friday, yeah, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and Day 2 of the NCAA Tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. E-Strick here with Nick Sainert, the partner for today. Talking a little bit of NCAA March Madness as well as some other topics we'll jump into. Great crowd out here at Buffalo Wings and Rings today. Both Nick and I are sipping on the Green Machine.
The Green Machine.
I done came up with two different names now.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, Green Machine, all kinds of names. Come on out and get you a, what do you call that?
Get yourself a Green Machine.
Not a keg. That's not a keg. What is that?
Just like a glass.
No, they got the little.
Oh, the tall beer, or the tall beer tower.
Beer towers.
Yeah, beer towers.
See, I don't drink enough beer
They don't sell them. They don't sell them all the time. They don't sell them all the time.
Yeah.
They sell them on just a couple days of the year. So the beer towers.
That's what
Get
they're
them for your group. They
it
can
for
be
your
green.
group, get it
They'll
for
be
your
green.
table. Yeah.
It's going to be hype.
It's pretty good. The beer tastes wonderful. The food is excellent as well. Come on out. We're also doing door prizes. We'll have another door prize giveaway in the next half hour. We're giving away a bike, beer tubes, beer buckets, appetizer, wings and rings, $25 gift cards, craft axe throwing gift cards, ticket prize pack, St. Patrick's Day shirt, Salt Dogs tickets, Beatrice baked cake. It's just a giveaway day. Come on out. Have a seat.
Giveaways. We only got 2 hours and about 20 minutes left or so.
Yeah, it is at 5 o'clock.
That's a lie. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
So make sure you come on out. And it's another year in the books of a good time at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Yeah, so Creighton's off the way. Little update. Creighton, the 6th seed against the 11th seed North Carolina State. Looks like it's 24-22 with about 3 minutes left in the first half. Good game going there. We knew that would be a tough one, a good one that would be fun to watch. How else we got going?
Well, Iowa State is currently on a 21-6 run against Pittsburgh, and the Panthers lead the Cyclones 28-23 after being up 22-2. So they were up 22-2 at one point, and now they're just up 28-3. So a nice little 21-6 run for the Cyclones and TJ Otzelberger's squad to get them back in that one.
Marquette has almost a 19-point lead against Vermont. They've opened the doors. The doors have not shut yet, but it is closed.
Shout out to Marquette.
About 6 minutes left in that game. Actually, I kind of like Marquette. Here's the crazy thing. I got a quick Marquette story.
Okay.
Around that time, towards the end, right before I got there, and before I finished my career, there was a young man that was playing up there in Marquette, which kind of brought Marquette basketball.
Okay.
His name, outside of Jimmy Butler,
was it Dwayne Wade?
It was Dwayne Wade.
You want to know another guy?
I was playing for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Another guy that I really loved watching at Marquette. I said his name a couple times on the air. Vander Blue.
Vander Blue
was a point guard for Marquette a couple years back while Buzz Williams was still the head coach there. You had, like you said, Jimmy Butler as well. Ed Morrow, the Husker post guy, transferred from Nebraska to Marquette.
Yeah.
You had
some Marquette ties.
Yeah, a little bit of Marquette ties. Then Shaka Smart took over there when he left Texas. So now he's got him as a 2 seed.
I will tell you this. That was one of the worst. My 2 years in Milwaukee was just absolutely crazy. I tell this story sometimes when we used to fly home. One of the things that they would never do is they would never leave our cars outside.
Really?
Our cars we would have a dedicated hangar for our cars. So we would drop our cars off, we would leave our keys, they would park our cars in a dedicated hangar where there would be a couple planes in there, right?
Uh-huh.
We get home from road trips, Nick, and when I tell you you're in the comfort of the plane, great seating, food, all of that, but when you open that door and you come with your bag and you talk about the wind here in Nebraska,
it hits you.
Oh, my, it's that bone-chilling stuff, and you're just grateful that your car is sitting in a hangar nice and warm by the time you get out of that plane.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
the crazy thing, and that I absolutely could not stand is coming home from road trips in the middle of winter in Milwaukee.
I just remember growing up and seeing the baby blue, the powder blue Marquette uniforms, and I was like, man, those are awesome. I bought myself a pair of those powder blue Marquette shorts from Shield. Oh, it was awesome. I grew up a fan of Marquette. Yeah, they're good. They're fun to watch.
Well, that's good stuff. Again, UConn and Iona will be tipping off at 4:45. That's something to kind of keep your eye off. That'll be one of the next games. But Big Ten tips off at about 6:50. Purdue and Fairleigh Dickinson's going to get it cracking and get it going at that time.
Are you worried about after the Fairleigh Dickinson head coach said, the more I watch Purdue, the more I think we can beat them? Are you concerned about Purdue coming in and
I think there's no better
putting the foot on the throat?
I think there's no better way to gas your team up and to make your team feel as if you can knock down a giant than to throw it out there as if you feel confident, just as confident about coming in there and getting a win as anybody in the building. So I'm not too disappointed about that.
Yeah.
Let's jump over here and have a conversation because We're gonna shift into NFL football. There's a lot of stuff happening over there. Obviously, the Aaron Rodgers situation, him coming out. we have some fans in here saying, "Riddance, peace, see you later, Green Bay, get out of here." People are kissing him and blowing him a kiss, saying bye-bye, get the heck on.
That table's been disappointing. They haven't won.
But he's going from green to green, possibly. So is he? He's going from green to green.
Green to green.
so that's kind of the play.
And a couple more weapons on offense potentially at New York as well.
Absolutely.
Well, he brought like 2 of their receivers from Green Bay to New York, but then also you add in Garrett Wilson, a healthy Breece Hall when he gets back.
Let me ask this question. What's your thoughts about somebody that's not even there? There's no contract negotiated.
Yep, but
there's
still,
no trade, but you're making demands on who they should.
I will say he talked. He was asked on the show that he was on a couple days ago about it, and it's snowing. Strick, what's going on outside?
Schizophrenic. That is the one thing about Nebraska.
I turned
it is
around.
The most schizophrenic weather that I've ever seen.
I turned around. We got blowing snow, and it's like snowing. It was just sunny about 3 minutes ago, and it completely caught me off guard. Anyway,
bipolar.
Back to gee whiz, that's so stupid. back to Aaron Rodgers though. He was asked about it. He's like, nah, man, I didn't ask for demands. I didn't demand anything to go to Green Bay or to go to New York or anything like that. But what is going on? They signed Allen Lazard, which we knew at the end of the last season in the last game of the year where Green Bay lost to the very Detroit Lions at Lambeau. Allen Lazard was like, listen, that's my last. Yeah, I'm done. Like, that's my last game in Green Bay. So we knew he was going to leave. We just didn't know where. Randall Cobb as well, I guess.
The longtime vet, been with him a long, he feels good and comfortable with
I'll tell you the more fascinating thing here to me is that Aaron Rodgers admits that he was about 90% retired.
Yeah.
And then he went into darkness.
Went into
darkness, came out, saw the light, and the light was that I'm going to take the job from Zach Wilson and Mike White in New York.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy to think about that. Just a couple weeks ago, he was planning to lean towards retirement. He said that when he walked off of Lambeau for the final time that night, he walked off with Randall Cobb specifically because he's been there the whole entire time. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, man, what made him come back?
Yeah.
And who does he have to prove? Or what is he trying to prove to a specific team and a specific organization, specific person, whatever it may be? What's he trying to prove with the New York Jets? And why is he doing it? Why did he decide to come back?
I mean, you got to look at the fact that, one, I think you got to look at the legacy aspect of it, right? You think about Tom Brady, and Tom was making his exit. The things was going downward, taking a downward trajectory down there in New England, and he finds a home in Tampa Bay and absolutely turned that thing around, right?
Yeah.
So I think that could be something because he's looking at this Jets organization and this team, and he's like, "What's missing?" They were there. They had everything that could have taken that Jets team there.
Yeah.
But what's missing?
Well, and then they had Breece Hall that got hurt, I suppose. It's torn ACL. So
you being a quarterback of your caliber then begins to look at yourself. And so here's the dynamic that they find themselves in. The Jets want Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wants the Jets. But the Packers and the Packers don't want Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But yet
Aaron Rodgers doesn't want the Packers.
Yeah, so it would seem like it would be an easy transition, something that just be done and taken care of. But here's what it is. Multiple sources say that the Packers want a first-round pick and more from the Jets for Aaron Rodgers. And basically the Jets are saying, this is crazy. You're basically trying to sock it to me. You're forcing sake down my throat.
Yeah.
And I don't want to drink sake. I want a beer.
Once again, it's annoying in my eyes because if you're sitting there as the Packers, right, you're saying we know both sides don't want to be involved with each other anymore, right? He doesn't want to be here. We're ready to move on. We feel good enough where Jordan Love is at.
Yeah. He basically, Aaron's calling for his head a couple years ago.
I'm not saying to give away Aaron Rodgers for pennies on the dollar. I'm not saying that you should trade him for like 2 6-round picks. I'm not trying to get to that. But at least put an effort to find a solution, meet somewhere in the middle to where the Jets are able to get him off his hands. Because also there's a sense of
$58 million on the line.
Yeah, well, there's that. But also there's a sense of what has he done for your organization? everything that you have done for your organization, or that guy has done for your organization. He's won back-to-back MVPs. He brought a Super Bowl to Green Bay. He has been there for the long haul. At some point, and maybe this is me trying to think, not pure, but too morally, right, and caring, is that they'd help him out. They'd try to figure it out. We've seen it in other sports. The Cubs did the same thing with Anthony Rizzo. They're like, all right, we know you don't want, like, you're ready to move on. We'll go ahead and we'll trade you away to New York. We'll trade Chris Bryant away to San Francisco. Like teams usually do that. Oh, it's perfectly fine outside. Is that the sun coming out?
In minutes.
It's a good thing I brought my Oakleys in here because I'm going to need my sunglasses. Anyway, so I just think it's annoying when an organization looks at the situation and says, yeah, we don't need to help him out. Like, this is his decision. No, it's not. The way the organization's actions over the last X amount of years, the skill positions to help him out, right? And then the lack of transparency with Aaron Rodgers when drafting a quarterback or just day-to-day operations, right? When you have that kind of guy, those kind of players and those kind of quarterbacks specifically are involved in what's going on. They listen to what's going on. They have input on how they go about the operations when you have a franchise player like that. And Aaron Rodgers didn't feel like he was that big of a part.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Ultimately, I feel like this. I feel this is why you have the situation where players should have more control of their destiny, because at some point, does the organization really care about you? Do they really have your best interest in heart?
Well,
even after you've done all you've done, given all you've given, yes, we've had a little bit of disagreement. Yes, maybe this GM and I are not.
I also think that's just normal after
a marriage.
I think that's normal over double-digit years.
Yeah.
Like, if you're around the same people or the group of same people for 12 years straight, like, there's going to be disagreements.
Yeah.
But once again, it's both sides, and I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is clean as a whistle in this thing.
Yeah.
But you got to have some amount of transparency here. And I think over time, it was just over and over that the organization wasn't transparent with Aaron Rodgers.
Again, that's great information. Thanks, Nick, for sharing your thoughts on that with regards to Aaron Rodgers. But we've got to take another break. We'll finish up the segment. I don't know. It may be you and I.
I might be back.
We don't know how it's going to go. It's just kind of fluid right here, like as we're drinking fluid at the same time.
Green Machine. What was the other name for it?
Marquette is up 74-57 as they close this game out.
Yeah, they are.
I think that game's going to end.
International champion Marquette
Golden
Eagles.
There's a little green bet going on right here between you and Rico.
I'm walking out here with a free beer. I'm not walking out with one. I just don't have to pay for it. Thanks.
We'll be right back to finish up the segment here on the block right after this at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior. If you're not sure what your evening plans are and want to change things up, look no further than Craft Axe Throwing. Whether for a date night, an evening with friends, or even a private party, you're sure to make memories at Craft Axe Throwing. Trained instructors help make things easy to understand, and a stock bar makes it a great hangout spot. With 13 throwing lanes, there's plenty of opportunity to reserve your spot today. Choose the Lincoln location at craftaxethrowing.com to book a lane or call 402-802-9696. Craft Axe Throwing at 18th and N.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit-SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Can you believe all the empty car lots in Lincoln? How can they survive? Well, they are surviving by charging way too much and making you believe there are no cars available. Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto. I'm here to tell you that they are full of bull stuffing. Come out to Price Right in West O and you'll find over 100 great vehicles at some great prices. We won't let you get a lemon since we back every one of our vehicles with our Peace of Mind 3-month warranty. If you want a hassle-free car buying experience, check out our website, PriceRightAuto.com. Come see a great selection of affordable used cars on West O Street at Price Right Auto.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-665-4650 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back for the final segment of On the Block here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Me and Nick are finishing up.
I got a question for you, Stricky.
What up?
What do you make of Michael Jordan wanting to sell the Hornets?
Wow.
Looking to sell the Hornets.
I think I can understand. Gotcha. A little bit of frustration as far as, not the level of excellence in which he's been able to accomplish. I think he's dealing with a generation that's a little bit different than what he's, so watching that, observing that, and seeing it kind of go in the doldrums is something that can be quite frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some live updates. I know some of you guys are asking. Not able to really get a lot of live updates right now out of the wrestling sector. hoping to do more of that. Kelsey, Mississippi Mud said Nick is a Packers insider.
No. Come on, don't go that far, Kelsey.
That's a little deep on that one.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it was probably a way to probably sarcasm.
Yeah.
So, here's a little update from the Creighton game. So Creighton leads 28-26 at the break, but get this, they had to take one of their guys, Mason Miller, back to the locker room in a wheelchair. So a little bit of injury there for Mason Miller.
Creighton doesn't have a crazy amount of depth.
No.
And that's always dangerous when you use somebody that is a significant piece of their rotation. You being a baseball guy, Greg and Lincoln says nobody ever picks off 5 times in a row, Nick.
Well, okay, 5 times might have been an exaggeration, but you could also look at it as stepping off the rubber and collecting yourself. You could also look at it as in a moment of the game, you can have it to where if you're an active base runner, right, active base runner on the base paths, getting in the pitcher's head, right, and it might not be 5 times in a row, but 5 times in that bat, right, he picks off twice, delivers the pitch home, it's ball 1. Picks off one more time, just to keep you honest, and you're in his head. You are visibly in the pitcher's head. That's what I'm talking about. You can disrupt the game by being an active base runner on the base pass. You can make your mark in an at bat that you're not even the hitter in by being active on the base pass.
And a pitcher who is kind of used to getting his ball down with a little bit higher of a kick. And you're aware of that, his slide steps, this is not as good.
You have to worry about quicker slide step. You have to worry about closing off. You have to worry about buckling your knees when you're looking back to first base or looking to second. Like you have to, all those other things are within your head. That plays a part in the game. That plays a part. But no, 5 times was an exaggeration. But throughout a bat, I don't think it is an exaggeration.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we'll see what Mason Miller and Creighton decide to do, or how that looks up with carting back in a wheelchair. Somebody say doesn't mean he's hurt.
No, this is, Paul Pierce had there's an unnamed texter 5640 says just because he went off in a wheelchair doesn't mean he's hurt. Paul Pierce he addressed that on the show that he has with KG,
or even more recently,
he didn't do that.
Yeah, or even more recently, what's it called? Lamar Jackson. Just because he goes back to the locker room doesn't mean that he's hurt. He just had to use the restroom.
Yeah. So
it happened. I don't know. This one looked pretty bad. he was injured on the floor. So unfortunately, never wish. Even though it's Creighton, you never wish ill will or injury on him. So
well, that about does it for us. We're going to get to the to the next hour, which will be Old School. Old School will be taking over. Mr. Sorensen will be coming back up and putting his hand in the bucket to give away some more giveaways at the top of the hour. So coming back at the top of the hour, you will have Old School taking over and handling business as the next level crew. Nick, thanks for joining me.
It's been a heck of a time.
Had a great time.
Have
Sipping
some,
on some good. What's the new name for it?
Green Machines.
Green Machines. We're on the block. We've got to get out of here because Old School will be taking over. Keep your eyes on the game. Last thought. What is the game that you're keeping your eye on for the rest of the evening?
Drake Miami. Got to be Drake Miami. Shout out to Marquette. They just beat Vermont by 17. That's a green beer, Rico.
Well, there we go. That does it. That does it for us. We're out of here. Old School next. Eastrick and my partner Nick for the day. Hopefully we'll have my other partner Austin back next week. We'll see you later. Peace.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from